Welcome everyone and welcome to this week's edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult, book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Once again, thank you so much to Miskatonic Books for sponsoring the show. I really appreciate it. Miskatonicbooks.com are an online resource for you to find all the most recent but also most sought after rare books that sometimes are out of print and are difficult to find. And so if you are looking for some of the best quality esoteric and occult books, then miskatonicbooks.com is the place to find that. You'll be able to see here that they have the second edition of the Hekateon, which has been long out of print and hailed for its beautiful quality, of course, the quality of the binding there. An absolutely gorgeous edition, and that is actually on sale at the moment. It's usually at $550. It's coming down to $350. Because, of course, there is the new edition of the Hekateon, which is coming out very soon. But I'm pretty sure that this second edition is going to go back up in price very shortly after this new edition is out of print, which invariably happens incredibly fast. That's an overview of what Miskatonic Books can do for you. But this leads me into my first bit of news for today, and that is Goetic Atavisms, which is on pre-order at Miskatonic Books. It has been on pre-order at Courtyard Books, but unfortunately those have all been spoken for, apparently. Let's talk a little bit about Goetic Atavisms, shall we? So Frater Acher and Craig Slee and, of course, Jose Gabriel Alegria Sabogal illustrating, have come together to create a new book on the Goetic arts. Right, now many people are confused with this word Goetia because there's a book in the Lemegeton, in the one of the books of the Lesser Keys of Solomon, called Ars Goetia, and in that book, in that short grimoire, there are 72 entities, demons, described as demons in the grimoire. And many people, when they think of Goetia, they think of those 72 entities. Well, I suppose one of the things that Frater Acher addresses in this new book, in Frater Acher and Craig Slee, they seem to have taken up pretty much half and half of this book. Both masters in their field, right? They are approaching the term Goetia from its real sense, in the sense that it's talking about the magic of the ancient Greek sorcerers. And that's who the Goes were, and there is a website that is launching in 3 days. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning, just before packing to go on holiday. So in 3 days' time, so let me see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I guess that's Saturday. We're Saturday evening European time, I guess. We are going to get access to this brand new website. Now, I've been given the password to give you a little preview of what to expect inside here, and thank you very much, Frater Acher, for sharing that. And basically, what it is just a complete learning resource for what Goetia is, right? So this is goetia.com. You can also reach it. I'll leave links down below, okay? So I've gone a little bit too fast there. We have quite a lot of material here. So obviously, the about page here tells us about chthonic sorcery itself, right? Just lots of really, really crunchy, interesting stuff here. The kinds of skills that are required for a modern practitioner of Goetic magic, right, of Goetic work. So all of these are described over here, right, and you can just click on them to find out more. Then there's the myth itself, right? The background, and there's lots of stuff that you can explore over here. 6 different chapters, historic context, and the etymology of the Greek word, and the work of the daemones, the mother of the Goes, the primal chthonic sorcery, the male Goetic revolt, etc. And then the materia. So the materia is an introduction to the credible sources that exist on Goetic work, right? On actual Goetic work, and once again, I'm not talking about the 772 demons of the Ars Goetia, but actual ancient Greek sorcery, right? And we actually have a collection of Jake Stratton Kent's interviews, lots and lots of them that you'll no doubt really enjoy listening to. I mean, Jake Stratton Kent was always a pleasure to hear, invariably witty and invariably a huge amount of fun to listen to, but it just is so incredibly knowledgeable on this very topic, right? So yeah, and then of course there'll be links over here to actually purchase the standard edition of the Goetic Atavisms, since most of the super deluxe editions are already spoken for, apart from at Miskatonic Books over here, where the pre-order is still in stock, right? So at the time that I'm recording this, you can still get your hands on a copy, and we're getting a little preview of what that's actually going to look like. I like this idea of this little cutout here, so that you can. We're not getting a picture of that right here, but you can see like a little detail, like a little hand. This hand right here sticks out of that little cutout circle. I think that's really very, very cool. So there we are, and there's right way up and upside down, which they're calling tête bêche, which is the French word for that. Design on the cover of that super deluxe edition, but the standard edition, of course, will be out very shortly after. If we have a look at Frateracha's post over here, we'll see that on April 30th, the website launches, right? www.goetia.com. Then the early May, the very limited edition of Goetic Atavisms will be available, if there are any left, because there are 33 copies. And finally, we can all pre-order the standard edition of the book from our greatest partners at Hadean Press, starting May 30th. So at the end of next month, Hadean Press will have the standard edition of Goetic Atavisms available, and of course I'll remind you of that and show you what Hadean Press are doing with all of that at that time. There we are. So that's a very, very exciting first bit of information. I'm always excited when Frateracha does something new, and here his collaboration with Craig Slee is even more exciting. It's just really, really super stuff. Okay, let's move on to news from Black Letter Press. A little preview that you saw earlier, one little glimpse there. The Monk by Matthew Lewis is one of the very early Gothic novels, and I read this, and it is it is surprisingly shocking for something this old, right? I mean, it's full of it's just full of gore and sex. That's basically what it is, and it was. It was. I'm trying to work out when exactly it was written. I suppose it's late 18th century. Maybe I shouldn't have been so surprised, but I was very young when I read this. I was certainly young enough to be shocked by it. I must have been maybe 15, 16. Very, very controversial stuff. And if you want to read about naughty nuns, this is the place. There we go. Maybe another just very, very quick word is that as you know by now, I am going on holiday in just a couple of hours now. I still haven't packed. But one of the books that I'm taking with me is this one. It's the Little Book of Life After Death, also by published from Black Letter Press. A very, very lovely book. And so if I have a moment, then that is the book that I'll be reading and hopefully reviewing. And yeah, that's available over here as well. Just thought I'd point it out. And it seems that the third book, the Spiritus Mundi, A Vision, and On Magic and the Occult are all available in their second edition now. So if you wanted them all in the same style kind of thing, then now's the time to pick that up. They will, yes, the first editions were cloth covers, weren't they? And the second editions are all with this kind of textured paper, Emitlin kind of paper. So they're now all in that second edition. So if you weren't able to get them all in the first edition, nevertheless wanted them all in the same style, then yeah, now is the time to pick those up. Okay, let's move on to news from Anathema Publishing. There is a spring cleaning sale starting April 29th. That's actually my birthday, which is really nice, right? So April 29th to May the 1st, 2023, 15% off everything on the site. Can you believe that? That is enormous. And 30% off all of AZK's jewelry. So that's absolutely incredible. And there's a code, of course. You need this spring sale code, all one word. Is it all one word? Yes, it is all one word. And all capital letters. This is particularly exciting because I was going to show you the Anathema Publishing store anyway, because this is just incredible. That there is so much great stuff, and I'm starting at the very, very bottom here, because what you need to know is that Anathema Publishing also sell works by other publishers from Europe. So if you live in Canada or in North America in general, and you want a cheaper way of acquiring the books that are published in Europe, then this is a fantastic way of doing that. And actually, there is one in particular that I wanted to point out. Of course, they've got a lot of the Hadean Press works. They've got some works by Atramentus Press over here. They've got the works of David Hymes Smith. They've got the Hellebore zines. And this is the one that really, really blew my mind, because these are the books from Rubedo Press, who are based in New Zealand, and they are incredibly expensive to source, right? Because the shipping from New Zealand is just so expensive. And really, my heart goes out to you guys living in New Zealand and in Australia, who have to get and anywhere else in the world, in fact, that is very, very remote and very, very far away from the publishers, the main publishers of the occult world. Rubedo Press, of course, based in New Zealand. For me living in Europe, you know, who has access to the books that are published in Europe, and the UK shipping from the UK is starting to get pretty expensive. Actually, I'm often paying more for the shipping than I am for the books. The same thing from the United States, but yeah, from New Zealand it's just huge amounts. And so yeah, to see these available on Anathema Publishing's website directly is very, very cool indeed. This Hermetica Triptycha caught my attention in particular, and of course I've reviewed this Ancient Astrology in Theory and Practice, one of the most important books, or couple of volumes, right? Part 1 and Part 2 that came out last year. And of course, Black Letter Press and many others. Very, very cool stuff. Some zines. Very nice. All right, I'll let you browse at your own pace. Let's move on to some more mass publishing news. We've first of all got The book that I recommend the most often, right, to the most people who ask me, where do I start? I say to them, Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. Whether you're interested in Aleister Crowley or not, whether you're interested in the Thoth Tarot or not, the opening introductory third of the book is the best introduction to Western magic that anyone can hope to have. Honestly, this is just it's so masterfully done. It's not condescending in any way, and yet it's light and breezy. It's humorous, but it doesn't assume that you're a complete idiot. You know, it assumes that you have a brain, as everyone does, right? And yet it leads you through an understanding of Western the Western magical tradition since the early late 19th century, excuse me, which of course has been so central in creating today's paradigm in occultism. It's just it's perfect. It's the right place to start. Honestly, it's the right place to start. Plus, it'll give you an understanding of who Aleister Crowley was, and an understanding of the tarot as well. By the way, a deep understanding of how the tarot works, and then also quite specifically about the Thoth tarot. But yes, don't let that title fool you. This really is the perfect place to start. And I know many people start with the Chicken Kabbalah, but I'll be 100% honest with you. That book is wonderful and is beautifully made. You know, if you have to have a book that's going to explain every single letter of the Hebrew alphabet in detail, then that's the one to do it with, because it's so breezily done. But nevertheless, you know, it is like page after page of tables and you know, things that you have to learn on rote, and you have to learn these things on rote if you're serious at all about a magical practice. I believe, you know, regardless of what particular tradition you end up going into. This is, you know, it's like, you know, not being interested in the runes. I mean, yeah, you don't have to be interested in the Norse tradition, but you know, not knowing like what the runes are is just poor form, right? Well, this is a perfect introduction. I'm gushing, but I just really want to make sure that that's clear. You know, where I think this book stands. It's really number one. It's perfect, and it is 40% off right now. 40% off, so that's $14.88. 40% off on Amazon.com. I can't speak for the other Amazons, of course, but Amazon US, it's 40% off, so it should be $24.95, and that's, I would say that is a considering the information that's included, that's a very, very low price. It is a paperback naturally, and it's a mass market paperback, so they can keep their prices quite low. But this $14.88 is an absolute steal. If you don't have it, buy it now. There we are. Let's move on to this next one. Notes on complexity. Well, every week I have a quick look at what's coming up in various fields, and this one caught my attention. The idea of a scientific connection, a scientific theory of connection, consciousness, and being, and it looks really interesting, right? So this is coming out in June, so it's not out yet, but you can put in your pre-orders already. There'll be a hardcover, Kindle edition as well, and an audiobook through Audible, of course, and yeah, I think that it's worth giving this one a little read right there of the blurb, just because the concept of consciousness is becoming more and more interesting in the scientific field. Like, people are taking notice, you know, people are paying attention and coming up with some very interesting theories. This seems like something to follow. I'll let you read the blurb in your own time, and then of course decide whether you want to pick up the book. All the links down below, of course, of the books that I'm showing you here on Amazon are associate links. So if you click on those, then I get a small commission at no additional expense to you. So I always do appreciate that. And then the third book that I found on Amazon is Pagans, the visual culture of pagan myths, legends, and rituals. And this is published by Thames and Hudson. So I can recommend it with with a very clear conscience. This is certain to be of great value and great quality. Thames and Hudson are really up there in terms of my favorite publishers for producing beautiful books at affordable prices. This is just 20 pounds. This is from amazon.co.uk. £20 for the hardcover, and it's Thames and Hudson, so the contents are all going to be colour. I'll just scroll here through some of the pictures so that you can get a vague idea of what to expect inside. All looking really very interesting, and yes, and the accompanying text is always of high quality. They don't put out ChatGPT generated nonsense. It's invariably high quality stuff. There we are. Fantastic. Obviously, all of these books that I'm showing you here on Amazon, if you are lucky enough to live close to an English language bookstore, get them from there. Obviously, get them from there. Support your local bookstores, please. I'm showing you these to let you know that these books exist, and for anyone who lives in remote places like I do. I live in Poland. My local bookshops are not English-speaking, English language bookshops. I have to purchase my books online. And now with the book depository gone, then yeah, my choices are unfortunately reduced. Good. I had a wonderful time chatting with Bernhard Reicher, or Reicher, from this fantastic YouTube channel. So he's got this series called Nemeteon, where he asks various people what is their favorite book from childhood or their favorite story from childhood. And I had a lovely time talking about my favorite story from childhood, and I won't spoil it. I'll let you click on the link below so you can check it out. But also talking about my theories on stories and their place within a magical practice. So do go and check that out. It's a short video. It's about 20 minutes, right? It's not the usual hour-long interviews, and I had so much fun doing it. That's why I'm talking about it right now. I think a lot of you who are watching my channel might enjoy watching that little interview as well. Also, it'll give you a little glimpse into the very, very beginnings of my own magical practice when I was a little child. All right, and then this was a bit of news shared with me by Sarah Janes, the author of The Initiation into Dream, and it looks really interesting. So this seems to be a symposium happening in Greece, I believe in Athens, and it's happening over several days. This Friday 28th of April, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So yeah, literally in a couple of days' time, is going to be a 2-part talk on dream in the context of foreseeing the future. And it just looks really, really interesting. So keynote presentations that elucidate their respective research areas. The first one is dreaming ahead of time, so dreaming about the future. And then the second one here is about accessing future events possible in this dream we call reality. So related topics. We've got Bonnie Camplin, and Gary Lachman. So yeah, I really recommend reading the blurbs here. They seem extremely exciting, extremely interesting, and I. It's not in. Why did I think it was in Greece? It's so weird. I was quite sure that I read somewhere that it was in Greece, but no. This seems to be at Apiary Studios, Hackney Road in London. What am I talking about? It's not in Greece at all. So I don't know. I don't know where I got that information from. Where did I see that? So bizarre. I have no idea. No idea at all. Anyway, I apologise about that. No, it's definitely in London. So yeah, go and check that out. It'll be a lot of fun. And while you're here, you can definitely go and check out the rest of this apiarystudios.org website, which seems pretty cool. Good. Right. Let's move on to this was a creator that was pointed out by Nigel Pearson. Thank you very much, Nigel Pearson, for pointing this one out. Magical Clothing by the Elvish Tailor. And just these creations that the Elvish Tailor has been creating has been producing and making available. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? These shawls are just mind-blowing to me. The colours and the concepts involved and so on, just seem very, very cool to me. I'll let you explore this at your own leisure, but I've got a couple of cloaks there, some lovely dresses. But yes, it's really the it's really the shawls that caught my imagination. There we are. I'll let you explore that in your own time. And a tarot, an interesting tarot here. It looks very cute. I don't know. It kind of appealed to me. I'm not usually one for this kind of style, but I don't know. I like the frog theme. I'm trying to draw a frog right at the moment, and this kind of whimsical take on the tarot just seemed very, very cute. Yeah, the Kickstarter is almost over. Again, luckily, I'm recording this early this week, so you still have a few days. There's about 4 days left, I believe. Very, very lovely stuff. And then the final little item for you today. Once again, thank you, Peter, for this one. It's a Cthulhu coffee mug, which I thought was very cool. It's showing you the price here in zlotys because I'm accessing the website from Poland. That's approximately what? It's approximately $12, something along those lines. So yeah, go and check that out. There's some sippy cups as well, and some color changing coffee cups that you can explore. So there we go. Thank you ever so much for watching. Once again, I am off on holiday. In a few hours after I've packed, we're going to be taking the train to Warsaw this afternoon, spending the night at the hotel for our plane very early tomorrow morning to Paris. Going to spend the first day in Paris and then move from there, take the train from there down to see my parents in the Loire Valley, where we're going to be spending a good amount of time. And I'm sure I will be putting out a few more reviews. I've got one recorded already that I'm wondering whether to put out or not. Regardless, I'm quite sure that I'll still manage to make 1 or 2 videos while I'm out there. I can't promise anything about a news video next week, I'm afraid. I will keep as close an eye as I possibly can, but we've got a very packed schedule. I haven't seen my parents in a very long time, and same thing with my brother, and then we've got a little trip to Disneyland Paris at the very end of it, and obviously our son is really looking forward to that, and so am I have to admit. And so yeah, as I say, a lot going on. We're going to be going to the Mont Saint-Michel, yeah, expect possibly certainly some photographs on the Foolish Fish Discord for Foolish Fish members, if any of you watching are members, and who knows, possibly even some footage. Yeah, we'll see how that all goes, right? But the point is for me to get a bit of a rest. So that's what I'm going to be attempting to do. Thank you so much, everyone who has made this trip possible, right? I really deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means so much to me that so many of you have decided to become Foolish Fish members. Those of you who have booked one-to-one conversations with me through the links in the description, in the comments. It really warms my heart, and I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that I do if it weren't for you guys. So thank you. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and to subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.